Good evening, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Emily. I am a third-year student rabbi at Leobet College, and it's a real privilege that Rabbi Rebecca invited me here tonight and indeed tomorrow morning to join you for Shabbat. So thank you very much for having me, and thank you for joining us online as well. Obviously, thank you very much for being here in person. Before we light Shabbat candles, we're going to start the service with Shalom Aleichem, which if you're in Siddur Lev Chadash is on page 76. And if you have a booklet with grey writing, you're on page 6. And with purple writing, you're on page 4. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom. So I would like to invite Emma to light the Shabbat candles, and if you would like to turn to page 75, so slightly back a little bit in Lev Chadash, or 5 or 3, depending on the book that you have. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sheg v'shanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shal Shabbat.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Please be seated. So we're going to continue the service on page 78 with Yedid Nefesh, which I don't believe is in the white booklets, unfortunately, but is in Siddur Lev Chadash. Yedid Nefesh av harachaman meshoch avdecha el retzonecha yarutz avdecha kamo ayal yishtachavel mul hadracha ye'erav lo yedidotecha minofet suf vechol ta'am higaleina ufroz chabibi alai et sukat shalom mecher ta'i eretz mikvodecha nagila v'nizmacha bach ma Yana nai 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 nai. Yana nai 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 nai. Yana nai 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 nai. Yana nai 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 nai. So one of the things that I should introduce at this point, possibly earlier, but we're here now, is that I really am hoping to bring a balance of what is familiar and also what I bring from other communities. So if you don't know a tune, I hope you'll be able to join in with it. I will be teaching, hopefully, a little bit of the Enkelahenu at the end, if you're not familiar with it. But broadly, I come from a Reform background, and I come from a synagogue where I sang in the choir and the musical director composed an awful lot of our music. And so in coming to London, I've learned that the things that I think everybody knows, only this one community actually knows, and that's not very helpful. So apologies if something you're like, wait, what? And hopefully you'll enjoy the benefit of some new tunes if you're unfamiliar. But just to kind of contextualize, if you hear something and you're like, I don't know that, it's not you, it's me, as the saying goes. We're going to turn now to page 89 in Siddur Lev Chadash and to page 8 or page 7 in the grey or purple books for Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot LaAdonai ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינוך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן, מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. And we continue straight on at the bottom of the page with Tzaddik Katama. Tzaddik Katama yifrach ke'erez balevanon, balevanon yizgeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva deshenim varananim yihu lahagid ki asha Adonai tzuri tzuri velo avlata bo. And as we turn now to Lechadodi, which you will find on page 91, or indeed on page 8 with purple writing or 9 with grey, as we get to the fourth and final verse of this song, I'm going to invite you to stand if you are able and to turn to face the door as we welcome the Shabbat bride in through the door at the final verse. And we will then remain standing as we go into the beginning of the Baruch Hu and the blessings before the Shema. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך ומאורי, אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני ההילך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And I invite you to stand and turn to face the back. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובהצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And we'll remain standing as we go into the Baruch Hu. Nine, 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 be seated. And we read together in the English on page 93 of Lev Chadash. I'm not sure what I'm reading here. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness, and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And we continue in the English as well, finishing with the bracha at the bottom in Hebrew. Unending love have you shown your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. When we lie down and when we rise up, we will reflect on the meaning of your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever. On them we will meditate day and night, for they are our life and the length of our days. May your love never depart from us. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev et amo Yisrael. And we rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malachuto, Le'olam, Le'olam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavacha hayom al levavecha, v'shinamtam levanecha v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'feitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, ug'shartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letatafot bein einecha, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitacha uvish arecha. Please be seated. And we chant together the final verse of the Shema. Leman tizkeru va'asitehem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelolechem ahani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem emet. And so we are on either page 14 with the purple writing, 13 with the grey writing, or in Lev Chadash we're on page 95. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Full of joy, we sang together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. And it has been said, the Eternal One has delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And we read the Hashkiveinu, which I believe we have a shorter version in Resold. So instead we're going to sing the first line in Hebrew and in English, and then we'll come together to read the bracha at the end. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivein. I've mixed up two tunes halfway through there. I'm really threw myself off, so instead I'm going to scrap that as soon as I've realised. And we're going to go straight to the blessing at the bottom. And maybe tomorrow or another time I'll come up and remember the whole tune that I was singing in the English there. It's quite a nice one, but I don't remember it all the way through clearly. Baruch atah Adonai, haporesh sukat shalom aleinu. In benedictions that are the central part of any service, really, any prayer service to God. And so if we rise in body or spirit, we are on either page 15 in the grey Resold, 17 in the purple, or 97 in Lev Chadash. Adonai, Shabbatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, Shabbatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imaot, Umevi Ga'ula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Hozeh u'Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye metim atah Rab le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morit hagashem, Mazriach hashemesh u'morit hatal. Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechaye metim b'rachamim rabim. Sohomech noflim v'rofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umakayem emunato, Lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, ne'eman atah lachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. Kadosh atah v'norah shemecha, Ve'ein lanu Eloha mivaladecha. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. Please be seated. We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls us to a closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts the sense of your presence and bring us peace. So we are together on page 17 in the grey Resold, 20 in the purple, or page 99 in Lev Chadash for V'Shamru. V'Shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. And I'm turning over to page 100, which is 17 or 21. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ritzei bimnuchatenu kadshenu b'mitzvotecha v'tein chelkenu b'toratecha sabeinu mituvecha v'samachenu b'yeshuatecha ותהל ליבנו לעבדך באמת ותהל ליבנו לעבדך באמת והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael utfilatam be'ahava tekabel v'tehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha Baruch ata Adonai she'otacha levadacha b'yirah na'avod modim anachnu lach she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu le'olam va'ed Tzor chayenu magen yishenu atahu ledor vador nodeh lecha unesaper tehilatecha al chayenu hamesurim biyadecha ve'al nishmotenu hapekudot lach ve'al nisecha shebechol yom imanu ve'al niflotecha v'tovotecha shebechol et erev vavoker v'tzohorayim Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha Ulecha na'ele hodot. Supreme source of peace, grant true and lasting peace to your people Israel, for it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples may be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. B'chol et uv'chol sha'a bishlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh hashalom. Before we move into a meditation, before the end of the Amidah, I wanted to share a couple of words about this week's Torah portion which is Shemini. So it comes at, Shemini means 8, or specifically in this context, it means the 8th day. So, the Israelites have been dedicating the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the traveling temple that will accompany them through the wilderness. And they've spent 8 days or 7 days consecrating it, with Moses acting as the high priest, knowing that on the 8th day he's going to hand over to Aharon, his brother, and his 4 nephews. Well, Aharon's 4 sons, Moses' 4 nephews. And he does that really early in the morning. He's really keen to get rid of this. One thing that we know about Moses, he's not keen to be a leader. He does it reluctantly, but he never wants to, and he's always keen to hand it off. So he hands it over to Aaron and his sons, and we learn that they start bringing the first sacrifices, and the Israelites go from being a people like many other peoples of the time and the location who offer sacrifices to gods at their own personal altars, and instead now they are a people who bring a communal sacrifice, or they bring their own individual sacrifice as a part of the communal sacrifice. And as this is going on, 2 of Aaron's sons, 2 of the newly instated priests, Nadav and Abihu, bring what is described as alien fire. They bring a fire pan with incense on it, and God calls down fire not to consecrate and burn up the offering that they are making, but to destroy them. And it's really interesting because on the face of it, it makes no sense at all. Why would God kill someone or 2 people who have just been consecrated as priests, who want to bring a divine offering more than what they have been commanded to do? So I drove down from Manchester this afternoon. I was touch and go if I was going to make it. My car was not working. It's fine now. So I was listening to a few different shurim, lessons, teachings about this week's parsha to kind of freshen myself up, give myself some new ideas. And I learned that we know that Aaron's wife, so the mother of Nadav and Abihu, her brother is called Nachshon. And Nachshon is the man who, when the Israelites reached the Red Sea, fleeing from Egypt, and they didn't know what to do, and they say the sea was so stormy and tempestuous, it didn't look like there was any way for the Israelites to pass. And Nachshon waded in. And even as the storm keeps raging, and he wades up and up and up, and no one told him to do this, and he gets up to his nose, and he prays to God, and he says, God, I've got no life left, I don't know what to do. And it's at that point that God parted the Red Sea so the Israelites could go through it. He acted without being commanded and was rewarded for it. But Nadav and Abihu were killed for acting without being commanded. And so what I was listening to raises this question of, first of all, maybe we are similar to our ancestors and to our relatives, and we follow their example and we think we're doing the right thing. But the other thing is we have to try and understand why we are acting in the ways that we're acting. Nachshon acted in desperation and in blind faith for the benefit of his community. He leapt into the Red Sea because he didn't see what else could happen. He didn't know that it was going to part for him, but what else was going to happen if he didn't jump in, if someone didn't take those first steps? But Nadav and Abihu, they can see that there are already sacrifices happening, the ones that have been commanded. Why are they offering more? Is it an overzealousness that we're being cautioned against? Is it, in fact, a self-aggrandizement that they are a warning against? Or is it something else? Is it just too much? Sometimes take a step back. Sometimes you don't have to do everything. You can just do what you need to do. You're never going to know if you do something extra, whether it was the right thing to do or not, until after it's happened. So I think one of the things that this week's Torah portion is calling on us to think about, perhaps, is when we act without being told to do something, when we act of our own instincts to do something, are we acting for the good of the community or for some other slightly more confusing, slightly more personal reason? And is that a good reason? So I want to leave you with that thought as we go into the quiet meditations before we join together for Shabbat Shalom. Ose shalom, ose shalom, bimromav, huya ase shalom, aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol ha'olam, ve'imru, 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 Amen. And we turn now to the Aleinu on page 520, or indeed on page 20 or 24. Please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרה בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו העינות, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו הוא אחד. The growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been is half owing to the number who live faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. Even when they're gone, the departed are with us. They inspire us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves sought to live. We remember them now. They remain in our hearts. They are a continual blessing. And this week, at this time, this community is observing the Yahrzeit, the annual anniversary of the death of Alfred Lamb, grandfather of Paul Silvermeyer, Charles Joseph, father of Howard, Derek Prinsley, father of Emma, Harry Karstadt, father of Philip, and Nell Molman, mother of Sheila Dana. Is there anybody else who we are observing Yahrzeit for, or indeed whose you are thinking of, whose name you would like to raise at this time? We bless them in the words of the Kaddish on page 564 or 28 if you're in the grey resold. Yitkadash Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah v'yamad divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman karif v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabam Avarach Le'alam Umei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithada v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekudasha Barichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Diamiran bi'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shlam Rabba min Shamaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Ose Shalom b'monav. Huyase Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol b'nei Adam v'yimru. Amen. Please be seated. So when I was preparing for this service with Rabbi Rebecca, we were chatting about the thing that I mentioned at the beginning, that I come from a community with different musical traditions, and we were talking about what should I do for the final song, what should I close with? And she said, well, you can bring something if you'd like. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, it's not unique to my community by any stretch of the imagination, but the Reform Siddur, Forms of Prayer, has a Ladino version of Ein Kelohenu in it, and I am Sephardi. My ancestors were the publishers of the largest Ladino newspaper called La Epoca in Salonika. And so, yeah, let's bring some Ladino. I don't know any Ladino other than this, but let's bring some Ladino. So I'm going to sing the tune in a la 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 for you for the Ein Kelohenu, because that is the easiest bit, I would assume. And if you try and join me, we'll do that a couple of times, then we'll go into it. And as it repeats a few times, hopefully by the end, you'll be able to join in with the verses in both Hebrew and Ladino. So the Hebrew goes like this. La 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 la. Try that. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I'm going to go from the beginning because I've confused myself, so goodness knows what I've done to you. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. We'll do it once more and then I'm going to start with the Hebrew. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu. Non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Mi Eloheinu, mi Adonenu, mi Malkeinu, mi Moshienu. Ken como nuestro Dios, ken como nuestro Señor, ken como nuestro Rey, ken como nuestro Salvador. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkeinu, no del Moshienu. Lo oremos a nuestro Dios, lo oremos a nuestro Señor, lo oremos a nuestro Rey, lo oremos a nuestro Salvador. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Bendito nuestro Dios, bendito nuestro Señor, bendito nuestro Rey, bendito nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, Tu sos nuestro Rey, tu sos nuestro Salvador. Thank you. Very glad to hear it. So there is something that I didn't look for in here, so that's not ideal. The other thing that we should know about this week's Torah portion is it's the first time that we hear the priestly blessing, which I now can't find. So if anybody knows what page that is on, that would be great. And if not, I'm just going to panic and look for it quickly. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. I am looking, but if anyone finds it before me, you're more than welcome to shout. Thank you so much. There's like a bat call, a voice from the heavens. Absolutely, I was literally looking at it. Not quite. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly where it is. Thank you. We're on page 529, at the bottom of the page. May God bless you with all good and keep you from all evil. May God teach your heart the meaning of life and grant you knowledge of the infinite. May God reach out to you with tenderness that you may have enduring peace. Shabbat Shalom. And if you'd like to join us at the back for Kiddush, that would be absolutely lovely.